And so if you, just a word of advice, if you ever want to get this done, do all of your underside stuff first and then get it done, because I have realized that my hair has turned into a grease factory from how much oil I got in there from getting this done and then doing a lift kit on Land Cruiser. So I'm actually doing this video backwards because I have already completed the lift kit, and I didn't feel like making a step-by-step because there are plenty of those videos on the internet and I just don't really care. So I'm gonna walk you through how everything looks on the, now that everything's done. I'm missing some sway bar end links, and I'm gonna replace the front and rear sway bar end links, and then I have to get a different brake braided brake line for the fronts. I'm not wheeling this thing anytime soon. Most of the time I just drive it to work, so it's not that big of a deal. But let me pull up my trusty new Amazon Light, freaking lightsaber. 30 bucks, dude. Way worth it. And it's got a nuke mode. Look at that. Look at that. Boom, boom. I feel like the Men in Black. So we're gonna go through what the underside looks like now. Oh, let me actually preface with why I decided to do a lift kit on my 80 series. So I am 5'4". I'm just kidding. I am 6'3", and getting in and out of this thing was already, it was like getting into my Prius, which I don't like small vehicles anyways. And the OEM springs and struts were on here from 1992. That means that the electronic front dampening struts from 1992 were on here. There was zero gas in either of them. I compressed them and they stayed down. So these have been probably toast for years, and the factory springs that were on there, I could literally compress with my hand. They were well worn, and I decided to do a 2.5 inch lift. It came out to more of like a 3.5 inch lift because the OEM springs were so worn. So I'm gonna give you a look of how the vehicle looks. So here is the current stance of the 80 series. I still have to bleed the brakes too. Forgot about that. Yeah, it's quite a bit of a lift. I didn't want to go much higher than that because I still want to fit it in the garage. And then I personally don't need anything larger than that. So 2.5 inch was plenty. Like I said, it was more like 4 with the old springs. There was about 3 inches of clearance before, and now I've got freaking clearance for days. So next thing, we're gonna look underneath and see how it looks. This is all the wool wax coating. I got some crusty rust there. But with the wool wax coating and the dry ice blasting, how this works is essentially you take dry ice and you send it through essentially a pressure washer, blows through, cleans up all the, it's like a low, it's sandblasting without the media essentially, because it evaporates. So do that, then do a phosphoric acid, if I remember right, to neutralize the rust, and then you coat it with this oil-based stuff, and it's supposed to give a lot longer longevity than pretty much anything else in regards to it. But here's the rear end. I did a Delta rear panhard relocation bracket, Dobinsons 2.5 inch springs, and the IMS struts. What's nice about the IMS struts is that they're rebuildable, so whenever one decides to go out, I can just pull one out and replace it and get her going. I did the Dobinsons sway bar relocation, or not sway bar, yeah, sway bar extension. I'll have to raise that up a little bit. That is a little, that's at like max length, so I'm gonna have to move that one, and the other side as well. And then for the fronts, same thing, Dobinsons 2.5 and the IMS. Look at that frame. Guy said the frame was in. So what have I done and what do I have to do? I guess that's the point. what I've done is replace the batteries, went through the motor. I still have to adjust the valves at some point. I don't think that's been done. I probably won't adjust the valves till the spring, so I don't have to buy another valve cover gasket. And I'll probably do the front mount intercooler at the same time, and a turbo, might as well. I did the batteries, went through pretty much everything under the engine bay: oil, big end bearings, new radiator, new condenser. Been trying to source out AC fittings to fit the missing AC fittings that go from the compressor at the firewall over, and then also goes down to the in cab evaporator for the refrigerator. That's been a very fun experience so far. I added a bunch of sensors, halo horns, changed out all the lights to LEDs, and now I've got the undercoat done. It's not a rubberized, what are you doing? It's not a rubberized undercoating like you see on a bunch of vehicles. It is a oil-based one, and I did an oil-based one because they use it on freaking Navy battleships. So this stuff is what's highly used in the Midwest and the East Coast in regards to rust mitigation, and make sure that everything kind of keeps a fluid coat that doesn't leave a huge mess unless you look underneath it. Yeah, it lasts many years in comparison to the other stuff. The other stuff, what'll happen is those hardening sprays, what'll happen, and this is what was on it before, is you'll get water, it'll crack because everything flexes on a vehicle. It'll crack, and then water will sit in that and will start to rust. So I did an oil-based one. My dog's got something. Hold on. Hey, what do you got? Drop it. Drop it. Look at that. No eating shit. No. So, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I got a fluid-based undercoating. Let's take a look at us how it looks. Ugh. So, there it is. Everything is coated. Yep. It's wet. This stuff takes about a month. Oh, look. Look, what a cutie. He's coming to help. So yeah, I've got the entire underside done. Yeah. So I spent the extra bones to get everything cleaned, everything neutralized, and then coated and shit. So good news is everything's done. Now I have something special to add to the next thing. So for the next thing, we got a Dobinsons lift kit. The factory springs are pretty well worn, and I just said, you know what, we could use a little more height. So the factory springs that are on here are pretty old, and they definitely have some sag to them. I can literally squeeze them with my hand. So yeah, I got the Dobinsons 2.5 inch IMS shocks, and I'm not doing any big bumpers or anything. I'm not planning on anything too crazy, so at least not anytime soon. So yeah, I'm going to install some springs and struts this weekend. Hopefully it's not too bad of a job. I found a spare transmission. Local guy had this for sale for $125. Says it ran and drove fine with a torque converter. Yeah, I said I'll take it for $125. Start talking to him for a little bit. We have some shared interests, and he just gave it to me for free. So super nice of him. With this lift kit though, I got the sway bar extensions from Dobinsons. Then I gotta put these back on after everything's done. I got extended braided lines from trailgear.com. I got the Delta control arms, pretty cool, and the Delta panhard relocation bracket. I also got this other big box from Delta, and that is the quarter panel mount. So I am adding a amplifier, and I'll be adding a bunch of other small gear things to this vehicle. And so this mount goes right here in this quarter panel, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to tackle that this weekend as well, and then mount the amp, and then I'd like a sub back here. So here's all my old AC stuff. So yeah, I guess I'll hey, get down. You do not jump on the paint. You know better than that. You're not going anywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna lift up. I'm probably gonna start on the back end, because the back end should be a little bit easier than the front. But this is gonna be a messy job because I just did the undercoating. So I guess we'll see how this goes. All right. It is 11:30 at night. Me and my boy are still chilling. What do we got done? What have you done today? Have you helped out any? Not much. Not much. I literally bought an SUV, so it would be easier for him to get in and out of. Whew. So, what have I done? I got the old springs off. Got the old struts off. And then, yeah, so here's the new Dobinsons springs. It's a little bit of a height difference. I only went with a 2.5-inch lift. I'm going to guess these are going to compress way less. These compress really easy, so I definitely believe that. These are a lot more robust. Got to go underneath this thing. Still got a little bit of there's some surface stress down here, some small areas that don't look amazing. I'm so used to freaking Southern vehicles or California vehicles. This is like a totally different thing. But it took about 3 hours. I started at like 8:15. It took about 3 hours to get the rear struts and springs off. Decided to break the sway bar mounts, the sway bar bolts on the other side. Had to retap those. That took a long time. And yeah, so I got everything out right now. This thing's just kind of hanging on for whatever I feel like. I'm going to put the springs in tomorrow and the struts on tomorrow, and then set the sway bar mounts, new sway bar mounts. And yeah, I'll just do more of this in the morning. I've been up since 4, 5, something like that. So I'm kind of done for today. At some point I gotta look at this rear diff locker. I don't think the diff lockers work on this thing, so yeah, just another getting it done. I don't really want to make a how-to of how to do this, since there's so many videos online. I just want to make videos of essentially just progress. Got the Delta quarter panel mount. Yeah, so what else am I doing? I've been looking for freaking, this is like a reach out for anybody. I've been looking for AC fittings for this thing, AC lines. I cannot find quality AC lines. There's a shop in Boise, next closest town, that says they can custom make it, but I wasn't super happy with my conversation I had with them. So if you guys find if you have some JDM AC lines, let me know please, because I would love that. But I'm gonna go to bed, and we'll check on this tomorrow. Look at Mr. Sleepy Baby. All right, so I am done with the rear, other than the brake proportioning valve bracket, which is right here. I'm about to do it. I gotta extend the breathers. I got the Delta Vehicle Systems panhard relocation bracket done. That was kind of a bear, dude. Everything has to go to 181 foot-pounds. But yeah, Dobinson springs are in. That was pretty easy. The struts are in, and they're both oriented the same way, so I've got some symmetry going on. This is the underside after getting the wool wax coating. It definitely looks better than it did before. This stuff is like a stay wet style undercoating, so luckily my hair has caught a lot of it while working under here. I'm greasy. I still gotta go to the gym. So yeah, I'm about to do the relocation bracket. I've got to extend the breather hose. Yeah, so then I'll start working on the front after this. Hopefully the front won't take as long, even though I got 2 front control arms to do. But yeah, we'll see how it sits. I'm gonna pull these jack stands out in just a little bit after this the brake bracket is in. So yeah, a lot of work, a lot of time. It's like 2 o'clock, so I've got like 10 hours almost on the rear. Most of it's just me taking my time, and I took care of some other stuff on the front of the truck. But yeah, I worked 3 hours last night and then like 4 or 5 hours today actually, so 8 hours between the 2 things, the relocation bracket and the rear struts. It took me a little while longer because I had to clean up some stuff, and yeah, so we're moving in the right direction. I have to buy new sway bar end links because the factory ones, they would not come off of the they're really old. So let's see if I can show them off. So oh, and I broke 2 bolts off right here and right here, so I had to retap those, which is super fun. So right now I have this nice little Bluetooth sway bar end link hold until I get those new ones in next week. Here's the factory ones. Between the rubberized undercoating that was on there and just an old mount, those things are not freaking going anywhere. So I'm gonna just have them sit to the side, keep the bolts. Hopefully the new stuff comes with all new shit. So yep, working in the right direction. It looks like it's we'll see how much higher it is once this thing's out. But yeah, just give me a little bit and I will lower it down and we'll see how it looks. Peace. All right, it is, oh yeah. All right, it is midnight. Woo woo. I went through the whole day of working on this thing. The rear is done, the front is done, Delta control arms are on, got the panhard bracket in the rear. So far the front was way easier than the rear, to be honest. I've got the extension over there. I still got to tighten that up. Got a bunch of small stuff to finish up, but it looks good. It looks really good. So we'll button this thing up and we'll see how it goes. I'm still waiting for the rear sway bar. I'm going to do front and rear new sway bar end links, just to make things easier. The original ones are covered in undercoating and I couldn't get them unbolted, so I might have to cut off the fronts. So yeah, just gonna keep working at it and then we'll put this thing back down. I have a ACSD delete kit for the ACSD delete kit for the fuel pump. So I gotta do that, and then I've got to install the Delta rear quarter panel mount, and then also run the power cable for power distribution for the rear. So still working on it. Never ends. Never ends.